Well, here we are again, guys. I suppose I should wait till some people come in. Well, hello and welcome back to another live stream. And yes, we're doing beer again. I like beer. This time I'm going to incorporate a couple of little foodie dishes along with it. So we'll see how that goes as well. But meanwhile, let's see who's around. Oh, by the way, can you hear me out there? Can someone let me know? I see there's people there. Can you hear me out there? Or am I talking to myself? Can you hear me? I did have problems with the microphone earlier, and I've actually taken the microphone out, and I'm using the laptop. Thank you very much, there, Kenneth. Yeah, I was a little bit worried. I did have my microphone plugged in earlier, and it was a bit funny. So I'm on the laptop microphone now. So we'll see how it goes. Should be okay. I have used it before. So, welcome back, everybody. Yes, beer. Well, you've seen the beers I'm going to drink. If you've seen the thumbnail I put up at the start of this, I don't know if you see it when you go to the live stream. I assume you do. I can't remember now. Anyway, let's introduce the beers. I want to reach over, knock everything over. Now we're going to start off with a London Porter. I'm going to start off with the London Porter because I'm going to drink them. This is unflavoured, so I'm not going to taint my palate with a flavour, if you know what I mean. And this is the weakest. So we'll start off with the weakest, which is 4.5%. We're then going to move on to the plum porter. So it's a flavoured porter. And this one comes in at 4.8%. And then, if I can reach over far enough, we're going to move on to the stout. And this, I believe, is 5.2. Yes, this is 5.2%. It's funny because if you go onto the Aldi website, it says it's 6.6. So I don't know if I've dropped the percentage level recently or not. But anyway, on the can, it says 5.2. So without further ado, let's get drinking. I'm parched. Now for this again, I'm going to be using small glasses. I do have pint glasses, as you probably know from the last time I got a couple out. But when you're operating around your laptop around here, using the small glasses, it's just less likely for me to spill it all over my laptop. Oh, and for my American viewers, look, I put on a Chicago Cubs shirt. Now, might not all be Cub fans out there. Well, I wasn't particularly. It's just a freebie shirt. Let's start off with this. So I'm going to pour some into the glass. Watching the head. Doesn't hold the head particularly, but it's porter and not a stout. And let's see what we've got about. Don't forget to leave your comments. Put comments in. I love reading your comments, and I like to act on them. So anyway, what do we know about this London Porter? Well, it comes in, I believe, half-litre measurements. Yes, it's a half-litre, 500 ml. As I say, it's 4.5% alcohol. And apparently it's vegan and vegetarian approved. And it contains both barley and wheat. I was quite surprised it contained wheat. Very few porters, I believe, contain wheat. But there we go. And it's £1.59 in Aldi's. So, middle of the road price beer for them. And if you look it up, because I did, of course, it's brewed by Shepherd Neame. Now, Shepherd Neame brews some very good beers, so I'm expecting this to be quite tasty. So, without further ado, let's try it. Bit of a nose there. I always like to take a sip normally before taking the nose, because I find if you take a sip first, you seem to get a bit of smell from it. Well, it's not got that much smell. You can smell a little bit of maltiness there. Possibly a little bit of chocolatey. For a porter, it's quite light. This dark roasted malt there in the background. Nice sort of nutty sort of flavour. Well, a big thank you goes out there to Willie already. Thank you very much, Willie. I really appreciate that. You're one of my great big supporters of the channel. I really appreciate everything you do. We are joining you drinking Odell Bruin 90 shilling. Oh, I like the 90 shilling. A new Belgium triple Belgium style ale. Yeah, I've had that. I believe I've had that before. I believe I've had that 90 shilling. Well, this is a very, and that would be a beer I'd enjoy as well. Now, I'd always been told different things about why beers are called porters and where the name came from. And I'd sort of taken it from hearsay up to now. Some people told me it was because originally they were aged in port barrels. Made sense to me. And someone else told me it's because they used to put port in it to fortify it to bring the alcohol content up. Also made sense to me. But I did a little research today, and it's got nothing to do with that whatsoever, apparently, according to research on the good old internet. And this is what I found out, and I've got it written down here. In the 18th century, porter became it was given its name because of porters carrying goods around, and apparently it was a drink. The dark ales were drinks that porters rather enjoyed. This was probably the dock words. This was probably the dock workers carrying the goods around, I'm guessing, and this dark ales were what they enjoyed, so hence it got its name porter. So let's put that one to rest. That's one is what I learned in history class. Oh, you've got learned about beer in history class? Great stuff. I like your history class. I'm quite enjoying this beer as well. It's got good flavour. Really does have good flavour. They like the dark beer. Well, I like the dark beers as well. I must admit, the dark beers are my favourites. So this one, I know I'm going to enjoy doing this. Oh, and well, I did find out also. Oh, I did tell you actually that this is brewed by the Shepherd Neame Brewery, which, well, they brew some great beers. So anyway, let's not drink too much of that because we've got more to drink. And what I do have also to go in with this, so I've got to reach over here because I put it all behind the laptop. A friend of mine gave me these. It's not. It says honey on the jar, but it's not honey in here. And these were given to me for my birthday by Steve. And what it is, you can see them floating around there. It's cherries and elderberries and various other fruits. I think there's some plum in there, all floating around, basically in gin. Well, the way he recommended me to eat it was, it's on the thumbnail. If I tip that up and write it all falling out, you can see it, is in yogurt. So I've already put some from the jar into there because I didn't want to be messy trying to open it up while I was doing it. So I want to try that now. So I'm going to try this before doing the plum porter because I thought it would go very well for the plum porter. Well, that is absolutely delicious, Steve. Lovely and tart. Yogurt really goes well with the yogurt. I'll only eat the one for now because I don't want to spoil my beer. I'll finish that off later. I'm just going to put that out of the way for now, but that's absolutely gorgeous. There's lovely tartness to it. And, well, so we need to get another glass. Like so. And another bottle of beer. Now, last time I did the BeerStream, I had another beer there, which was these are all from Aldi's. The last time I had one, which was also from the Harper's Brewing Company. I said it was a little bit weak. It was not weak in alcoholic content. The flavors were a bit weak, and it didn't do an awful lot for me. Well, this one again is from Harper's, and the Harper's is brewed. I've got to flip my page over here. I've got a little note. I made a couple of little notes. Look, I believe by Marston's. Yes, Harper's is brewed by Marston's, or I believe these days it's Carlsberg Marston's, or whatever it is. And this is a vegetarian beer. I think I tell you the last one came in at £1.59. I believe I did, and this one comes in at £1.39. So let's pour this into the glass. That head's holding up a little bit better, I think. Once again, I'm going to have a little sip. And then a little smell. Well, there's definitely plum in that. Chris and Jane on Narrowboat Poppy. Hi, Chris and Jane on Narrowboat Poppy. Is it strong? This one was 4.5% alcohol. This one's 4.8% alcohol. Well, that's chalk and cheese. The last time I drank one of these beers brewed by Marston's for Harper's Brewery, as I said, I thought it was a little bit not brilliant, but this is absolutely excellent. Definitely tastes. You can tell there's a fruit in there, and I know it's plums, so I know it's plums coming through. But it's not overpowering. It's complementing the beer. Some fruit beers are just taste of fruit, and I really don't like them. But that is really complementing the beer, and it really is good stuff. Yeah, well, yes. I could drink lots of that. Well, probably will. Once again, you get the maltiness and I think that must have dried hops in it. It's got sort of that dried hop sort of texture to it. I don't know what hops are in it. I didn't actually look that up. I don't know if it says on the bottle what hops are in here. It says especially produced for all these, and it's a recyclable bottle, and this bottle contains a single serving. Okay. A fruity dark porter brewed with the finest roasted malts and classic hops. Doesn't tell you a lot, does it? Expertly crafted in Dorset. That surprises me because Marston's Brewery is not in Dorset. Marston's Brewery is in Warwickshire. I would have thought. No, where's Burton upon Trent? Is that Warwickshire? I think so. That's where the big Marston's Brewery is. Anyway, is Burton upon Trent. I've been past it on the Trans-Mersey Canal many a time. Yeah, those triples are really, really hit the mark, don't they? With 8.5% alcohol. That I've had some of those Belgian triples in the US before, and yeah, they're really good. A brewery I've mentioned before, Riverhawk Brewing, that was at Channahon, Illinois. They used to do a Belgian quad in there, which was ridiculously strong. I can't remember, there was 11-12% alcohol, so, and that was absolutely gorgeous though, but you could only really sip it, it was you couldn't really drive if you had a glass of it. That was one thing about it. But yeah, actually this plum porter brewed for Harper's, I'm definitely going to give this is going to get, well, the last one I would have probably put around about a 5 out of 10, the last Harper's beer I drank. This is a good 8, probably pushing 9. It's easy drinking, lots of flavour, and I'm not talking about just the plums. It's got a great dark colour, you can't see through it. Yeah, that's very drinkable. I could definitely have a few of those without any problem at all. And I have something else I brought along today to try. And my American friends out there would go along with this because these are very popular in America. Wings. These ones I've done myself. And these are a spicy tandoori wing I've done. And I'll give you a sort of a quick run through of the recipe I use. Oh dear, the beer's repeating on me. I don't. Oh dear, definitely. I used to mix my own tandoori powders and all that, but all the spices. But living on the boat now, it becomes quite difficult. So I actually buy the tandoori spice, the powder, and I buy it at a shop near Coventry, actually, or in Coventry. And I buy a big bag of it and chili powder, a little Thai fish sauce, and a little soy sauce for the saltiness, because I'm not going to add salt in the marinade. And mix it all together. Oh, and some lime juice. Mix it all together, then coat my wings, and leave them overnight and then cook them the next day. Well, let's try them. Wow. What can I say? Absolutely delicious, but I did cook them myself, so I'm biased. We'll finish those off later as well. Those up there at the way. Now, before I go on to the next beer, I'm just going to wash that down so there's no sort of after effects of the taste of the chili in there. I didn't make them super hot, but they're spicy. Oh, there's some garlic powder in there for good measures as well. Oh, and some garam masala. Keep forgetting what goes in these things. Another glass here somewhere. Got stuff all over the place here, haven't I? Right, now we're going down to up my pad out here. I'm just doing a little bit of reading. This is called Stout About It. Stout About It. It's a vanilla stout, and it is 5.2% alcohol. And from my notes here, I looked it up because I'd never heard of the Hop Foundry before. It's never one of those brewery names which Aldi obviously owns, because it's not brewed by them. It's actually brewed by Freedom Brewery. And I'd never heard of Freedom Brewery before. I sort of Googled them as well and looked them up. And they haven't been around that long, a few years. And they predominantly make lagers. They make craft lagers. Well, I'm not into lagers. Most of you probably know it there. I'm not a lager drinker. So I'm not quite sure what this is going to be. If they're into making lagers all the time, how's this going to come out? Oh, we'll have to see, won't we? And I see things coming up here. I guess is it Deb? Is it? It says Deb CT. I guess Deb. Kenneth's in here. You maybe just laugh. Yes, very popular in the States. Yeah. Well, I lived in the States for 15 years. I ate an awful lot of wings when I was in the States. Slurpy Dave. Good evening, Dave. You're from the Isle of Man. Oh, there's a place I've been. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Yes, it was my birthday yesterday, but thank you very much for the happy birthday. On the Mac Canal on Monday, Trev. Starting from Bollington. Well, Bollington. I did a couple of videos of Bollington when I was up there last year. Love Bollington. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's a bit of a walk up and down the steps into the village, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And there's a great brewery there at Bollington. Well worth a walk to. The brewery itself, you can buy like cans and that sort of thing, but just around the corner they have I can't remember the name of it now. They have a pub basically. What they actually did was, this is odd because this is back to front to how pubs seem to happen these days. They bought up a couple of old cottages and turned into a pub, rather than the other way around these days, where pubs seem to get turned into houses. So it's rather cool to see it that way. They do some great beers in there. They sell obviously a lot of their own beers. Bollington Brewery, I think that's what it's called. And not only do they do their own beers, they do a lot of other craft beers in there as well. Really good. Really enjoyed it in there. People are really, really friendly, and they do food in there as well. So if you're into wanting to get something to eat, and it looked really good, and it was quite reasonably priced, if I remember rightly. I never eat out, or very rarely ever eat out, so I didn't buy any food. I did have a couple of beers. Anyway, let's move that one out of the way. And Oh, you'll see my video on the Mac. The Vale, that's it, the Vale. Yes, the Vale, that's the pub. Good place to start. Right, so here we go then. We got this stout. And we'll pour that into a glass or some of it anyway. That's holding up reasonably well. I do like stouts normally on nitro best rather than on CO2. But it is still holding the head up there, so that's quite good. That's good news. So Freedom Brewery is in Rugeley. I forgot to mention that bit just now. And Rugeley is on the Trent and Mersey Canal, and I shall be going up through Rugeley probably later on this year. Or fingers crossed. Anyway, let's put on this beer. Oh, well, it's definitely vanilla. On that little taste, I could taste it as well, but you can smell it. There's definitely a lot of vanilla in that. Now, I don't like. I have had vanilla stouts before. Sometimes I don't like them if they've got too much vanilla in, but we'll try it. I won't be buying this again. For my palate, that's far overpowering with the vanilla. It's ruining the taste of the stout. In the background there, you can taste the stout. There's some malts and chocolate-ness sort of in the background there. Looks like I've got a problem with my connection. If you can still hear me, it says it's unstable. It's funny because I've had a great connection here. I've been moored here for 3 days and the connection's been great. Well, this is my 3rd day. Can someone type in the comments if you can hear me? If it is. All good here, good. Thank you. Sometimes it puts up these messages that you don't know. Yes. Oh. I probably will drink it because I bought it. So no wonder they dropped the price of it. This used to be $1.59 apparently. I've got my little notes here, and it's now $1.29. As I say, it's brewed the Hop Foundry in partnership with the Freedom Brewery, who specialise in lagers, is what my notes say. And this is made with barley and oats. And it comes in a 440ml can. The other two are 500s. Just as well, less of it to drink. That's a bonus for me. Yeah, that one doesn't do it for me. If you like, actually, no, I'm not. Well, I like vanilla. I do like vanilla because not if I'm a big ice cream fan, but I will eat a vanilla ice cream. But that, I'm trying to like it. It's almost given it a bitterness, the vanilla. It's too overpowering. Yeah, it's a job to taste. It's actually a stout. It's no wonder they show it as a ice cream cone on the front here. Vanilla ice cream. But that's basically, well, that doesn't even taste like a vanilla ice cream, really. Well, that's one I'm going to pass on again. I will never buy that one again. But one I'm going to pass on again. I will never buy that one again. But it's the way we learn how to drink beers, isn't it? But don't get me wrong. That's my opinion. If you like a good vanilla-y flavoured stout, it may be absolutely phenomenal for you. That I don't know, but it doesn't suit my palate. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to just move that one out of the way. And we're going to come back to the plum porter because I really enjoyed this. That's really good. Right, have we got any notes up here? Yeah, it looked the part, didn't it? Definitely looks the part. It's got the colour there. It's a good dark colour. It held ahead as well, even on CO2, which I think stout should be on nitro, but there you go. Yeah, as soon as you smell it, all you smell is and it's not even real vanilla. I think it's vanilla blooming flavouring. Does it say it contains real vanilla? I'm surprised if it does. Doesn't say. A full creamy stout with sweet hints of vanilla flavour. So that's probably where it's gone wrong. Vanilla flavour. I doubt they've used real vanilla. It's vanilla flavouring. And there's a huge difference between vanilla flavouring and real vanilla. I know when I've used vanilla and making desserts before, you take it out of the pod, the taste is absolutely different to that stuff they sell in jars and call it vanilla flavouring. So that's probably the problem. They haven't used real vanilla to keep the costs down. But excuse me, that's a problem sometimes, isn't it? You know, do you have a real expensive beer or a real good beer? I like a real good beer. If I missed anything out here, I just don't. I'm just going to stroll up and go back through the comments here because I probably missed some stuff here. I don't know if I have or not. Chris and Jane, yes, on Narrowboat Poppy. Seen Kenneth Odell Brewing. I'm sure I've had some of their beers. Odell Brewing when I was in the US. I did go to Colorado and I did visit a few breweries, but I don't believe that was one of the ones I actually visited. A White Russian stout from Virginia brewery called Center of the Universe Brewing Company called Duderino. Never heard of that one, Kenneth. White Russian stout. Milk? The White Russian has milk in it, doesn't it? Well, the alcoholic drink that if you make a White Russian liqueur or cocktail. Oh, John. So, John actually knows what this plum porter tastes like. He just joined us there because I did have two more of these on the boat. And before I left Atherstone the other day, we drank one each. So that's why I knew it was a good beer because I'd already tried it. But I'm rather enjoying the plum porter. I expect John would actually quite happily drink another one. You see, smashing beer, I got a couple today. You see, I'm not exaggerating when I said that's a good beer, the plum porter. There's proof in the pudding. John's got a couple today as well. Yeah, I probably wouldn't like that one then, Kenneth, because I don't like milk. Yeah, I've never been a milk person. Never liked milk all my life. Apparently, my mother tells me I never even liked milk when I was a baby. I used to puke it all up all over the place. So, yeah, so I'm not a milk person. I don't eat cereal because I don't drink milk. I drink my coffee black, my tea black. Um, I don't. I like a yogurt, funny enough, and I like cheese. But cream, I'm not a fan of cream. Um, so yeah, it's a hit and miss of what I like. So milk, I probably wouldn't like it if it's got milk in it. But as we say, everybody likes different things, which is just as well because if everybody was out buying plum porter, there wouldn't be enough for me, would there? Okay. That's a good thing, you see. I agree with you there, Willie. Beer is definitely better for you than milk. And you see, what I would go for, you see, sometimes I'll get a milk stout. Of course, there's no milk in a milk stout, but I'll have a milk stout. Um, it's just a type of beer, as you probably all know. But yeah, I quite enjoy a good milk stout. I'm really enjoying this. Has anyone got any other questions there? Or want to ask me about anything? Doesn't have to be do a beer, anything to do with boating or whatever. I'll try and answer them. Um, this plum porter is on our list to drink when we narrowboat in 2 months. Ah, wow. There you go. You see, plum porters. There's actually quite a few around in the UK, plum porters. I was looking it up on when I looked this up today because I want to see about brewing it and who did it and all that sort of thing. And as I say, my notes here, porters. So I sort of had to specify it a little bit, and I just put in all these plum porter. It came straight up then. Oh, Harper's Brewing, brewed by Marston's, and all that. So yeah, so you can go in and find out these things and drink. Oh, we're drink a drink a drink. Today is a pink a pink a pink. See, I'm old enough to remember that song. Scaffold, I believe, sung that. I, I'm not sure if I saw plum porters. I'll tell you what I did see in the US, and I had a couple of them, were cherry porters. And they were very, very good. Black cherry porters. Um, I really enjoyed a couple of those. Did I see any plum porters? Possibly. I can't remember. There's so many different beers I tried when I was in the US. Uh, Up in the Chicagoland area, where well, I didn't actually live in Chicago. I lived in Coal City, which was about 70 odd miles southwest of Chicago. A tiny little town there, village. And but a good friend of mine, Kyle, he would drive us up to a lot of breweries around the Chicagoland area. He would find them. He'd go, Trev, want to go to the brewery? Yep, off we go. And we'd go off and try lots and lots and lots of different beers. Absolutely fantastic time they were. One of my favourite breweries over there was Pollyanna's. They did a great stout, absolutely great stout. Uh, there's a few others that made some good stouts as well. Stouts, I'll tell you what, the US, some of those microbreweries make some of the best stouts around, and I was really, really, really impressed on some of their stouts. Difficult one. My favourite beer. Peanut butter porter. I did see a peanut. Didn't see a peanut butter porter. I recall seeing in the US. I did have a peanut butter stout, and that was very good. And I also had a was it peanut? No, it might not have been a peanut butter. It was a Snickers bar stout. I think it was a Snickers, or something, basically the same sort of flavouring. Yeah, beer trips. I love beer trips. Um, Yeah, my favorite types of beer are porters and stouts. Actually, to pinpoint an actual favorite one is difficult. I'll tell you one of my favorites, which is a dark beer and from the US, is Dragon's Milk. That is from, if I can remember, New Holland Brewery in Michigan, the fairly high up the north in Michigan, and I didn't actually go into there. I actually drove right past the brewery. I looked for it and found it, and they weren't open when I got there, and I was with, so I just didn't go in, obviously because they weren't open. But otherwise, I would have done. But Dragon's Milk was available down in around Coal City area quite regular. I first of all saw it, I think, in somewhere like Naperville or somewhere like that, in one of these beer places which do lots of different craft beers. But Dragon's Milk, I think it started off around about 12% alcohol, but it ended up around about 10% when it became really popular. 10% alcohol, and one of the local places I lived near, little local bar, they did it in pints, and little local bar, they did it in pints, and it's $4 a pint. Yeah, that was. I used to play trivia in there on a Wednesday night. I think it was a Wednesday night. When they had Dragon's Milk on, I'd have a couple of pints of that. that was me for the night done. Yeah, that was good nights. Yeah, that was one on the top of my list. That was Dragon's Milk, but you can't be drinking those big heavy beers all the time. Those 10% beers. Uh, no wonder I can't think straight half the time. My brain's screwed. Uh, yeah, Dragon's Milk, well worth a try if you like dark beers and you're in the US. Dragon's Milk. See, some people say to me sometimes. I've had comments before. Oh, you haven't been there. You don't know about this. You don't know about that. You don't know what you're talking about. You see, I don't tell you. I don't tell you porky pies. Bit of Cockney rhyming slang there for lies. I tell you what I remember. I may get it wrong sometimes. And if my good friend Carl was in here tonight, which I don't think he is, he would soon put me right because Carl would soon tell me, "Hey, Trevor, what's so and so? We went to so and so." But yeah, no, and I did actually have far too many of them once. Uh, there was a place quite near to where we lived. It was about 4 or 5 miles away, which and obviously in US terms is just around the corner. And it was called Gippers 2, and they had Dragon's Milk in there for a while, and they sold it in pints as well. Well, it's US pint, 16 ounces, not our UK pints, 20 ounces, but they sold it in pints in there, and I don't know how many I had one day, probably 10 of them. Yeah, it was just as well it was a Friday night, and I wasn't driving because it took me all weekend to get over it. And that was just after I'd broken up with a girlfriend at the time, so I got a bit. No, she hadn't broken up with her. She had just died, actually. It's when Donna died, and yeah, I got a bit wasted that following weekend. Oh well, there you go. She enjoyed a beer or two as well, so had to have some for her as well, didn't I? So yes, so Dragon's Milk. It's a good beer. Mind you, value for money here in the UK, because beer's got expensive here in the UK these days. This this here plum porter is disappearing quite quickly. and I'm really, really enjoying it. So cheers, everyone. Good memories. Yes, it was. You can't change what happens in life. Things happen. Um, I think I've told people. Well, people know the story. Donna, I was with for 4 years, something like that. 4 years. We never actually lived together or anything. She had her own house. I had my own house, but we met up nearly every weekend, and she would spend nearly every weekend with me. But she got the old cancer, and unfortunately, within a few months, wasn't here anymore. So that was, hit me hard. But yeah, we had some great times together, though. So remember the good things. Don't have to remember the bad things. Although the bad things, obviously, you do remember. But live for the good things. And that's why I live today. I live for the good things. Good beer. And living on the narrowboat, you're never lonely. Uh, Stick your head out the door and somebody will walk by, and you say hello. Living in Illinois in the winter time in Coal City, I could have stuck my head out the door every day of the week in the winter time, and I wouldn't have seen anybody because it was that bloody cold. But there you go. But yeah, I saw some cold temperatures, and but it's one of the reasons why I moved back to the UK because I couldn't put up with the cold winters anymore. It was getting to me. I was getting old, and I always wanted to come back and have a boat. So I'm now living on this, what in America would call, I'm living the dream. And I must admit, I love it, and I wouldn't want to change my lifestyle for anything. It's nothing special. I don't have a fancy boat. I have I'm comfortable in my boat. Nothing fancy, but it's just life. It's life how I love it. Um, I'm moored in pretty much the middle of nowhere tonight. Uh, I can't see a house from where I'm moored. I see a hedgerow one side. Well, I can't now because it's dark. There's a hedgerow and a field the other side. But I put my head out the window today a couple of times. Well, I was outside a couple of times a day. I was chopping some firewood, and I was making a little thing which I'm not sure I'm going to use, but I was making a shelf to sit my small TV on, which was going to go up above the bedroom in here, and so I could watch TV in bed. But I'm not sure if I like it now I've made it, so it might just get used for firewood. But that's how things happen, isn't it? Yeah, I got two bathrooms, John, or two toilets anyway. I only got one shower room. Yeah, it's because it's an ex-hire boat. So they used to cram. Well, it was made to cram 10 people into this boat for a hiring. Yeah, it was a 10-berth boat, so it's got a his and hers toilets. I was a logistics manager in the US. I worked for a small company, um, and it was just literally shipping all the stuff out they had and shipping some stuff in and moving some stuff around. But yeah, uh, that's what I did. um, well, it was one of the reasons why I moved back. Actually, was basically I had enough of the job, and I was 60 at the time, and decided I'd had enough of the job, wanted to move. Um, Selling my house over there and coming back here allowed me to. The property values have gone up enough for me to make enough money out of the house to buy the boat. So pay cash for the boat. So that was no, I never, I didn't ever have any problems living in the US. Some people say, "Oh, you just didn't like the people." No, actually, I got on very well with most of the people around me. I had some great friends in the US: Joe and Deneen, Kyle, Scott. Some great friends in the US. Really did. Tim and who's played trivia with. I had some real good friends over in the US. So it was nothing to do with the people, because people say, "Oh, you just didn't get on with the people." No, it's not true. I got on with just about all the people I knew. Um, there's a one odd here, but it's the same over here in any country, isn't it? There's always the odd one you don't get on with. But no, I got on with basically most people in the US. They'll take the piss out of my accent, and I'll take the piss back. That's how it worked. But yeah, enjoyed it though. I don't need to bend down here to read again. You found the live. I think I'm leading a great life. This is put it this way. I'm the least stressed I've probably been for years and years and years. Yeah, still going a bit grey here though, but I was 64 yesterday, so I think I got a few grey hairs as at 64 is not bad going, and it is real. It's not a toupee, okay? I'll tell you what though, guys. Plum porter. I'm enjoying this very much. That vanilla stout, well, it might end up by I might. You know what I might make? I might keep that vanilla stout, not drink it. I might just make some batter out of it, and do some fish and chips with vanilla stout. Use Guinness for fish and chips, so why not use vanilla stout? Might just try that. Although I don't have any fish in the freezer. If we go off by the time I get to the shops, I might do some battered sausages. There you go. Or I'll make a toad in the hole with vanilla stout. Try anything once. Yeah, and I think Willie, I think it's down to yourself on how you get on with people in other countries. And if you're willing, there's going to be a bit of banter, and I don't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? Never had a problem with that. But I'll always give as good as I get. So always what goes around comes around with me. But yeah, I've never had a problem with anybody, anywhere, any country I've been to. And I've been, people go, "Oh, my parents lived in France for 10 years or whatever," and I'd go to France quite regular. This is before I moved to the US, and never had a problem with the French. People who's in the US go, "Oh, the bloody French." And I've never had any problems with them, and I'll tell you what I used to find in France. You'd go into a store or anything like that, and if you're attempted to speak French or try to do a little bit of French, if they spoke English, they'd know straight away you're not French, and they would. It's never ever a problem. They would, if they knew English, they'd speak English back to you, and it was always never had a problem at all. And I think as long as you try and you make the first attempt to, I'd order something in French. Yeah, my pronunciation was probably, I probably, instead of asking for a pound of carrots, I probably asked for a ton of manure or something. You know what I mean? But I think it was the trying. My French is not very good. I know. I used to know a little bit, but nowadays I know. Besides, parlez-vous français is basically as far as I get these days. And I knew a little bit of German at one time. I worked for a German company, and I went to Germany when I worked for Volkswagen Audi. I went to Germany, and I never spoke a word of German. Absolutely everybody spoke English, and they spoke very good English as well, which was rather embarrassing. It was done like better than my German, I can assure you. Yeah, well, you see, No, and I don't really. I don't see much difference. And you're right. Some people don't like tourists, but it's funny. Normally the people that don't like tourists live in the most touristy places in the world, where tourists go, and then they complain about the tourists. That sort of gets me a little bit. Why move there or live there? Because you probably weren't brought up there. You probably moved there, and then complain about the tourists, and you probably have a job that the tourists pay for, basically. You know, and I've noticed this before. People that complain about tourists in certain places, but their livelihood completely depends upon tourists. Don't get it. And one in question that comes to mind was somebody I knew once used to always moan about tourists, always moan about the tourists. But they had a restaurant in a touristy spot and made a fortune. But they always moan about the tourists. Well, if there weren't any tourists, you probably weren't going to make any money. So don't complain about your income, is what I say there. Yeah, yeah, it's funny, isn't it? You try a few people. I've been to a few different countries in the world, and I've always just found try and say a few words in the local dialect, the local language, and people are friendly. You broke the ice straight away. They might laugh at the way you pronounce things, but that's fine. That's broken the ice, and I'm quite happy with that. But yeah, just get on with it is what I say. And it's your attitude. I think if you go with the wrong attitude, oh, everybody around here is miserable. They're going to be miserable because you've made them miserable. There you go. And I'm getting happy. Cheers, everyone. Well, we've been going an hour nearly, and I guess it's time I should think about bringing this live stream to an end because I got some beer to drink. Uh, you're only a day late. It was my birthday yesterday, and I was doing the beer stream yesterday. I was going to do it on my birthday. The reason I moved it is, which I'm glad I did, because I got a lot of American friends there. I thought it'd be easier for people in America that if they're working. If I did it at 8 o'clock on a Friday night, which was yesterday, obviously, um, because of the time differences, they might be at work. So I thought 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, at least people will be able to see it. And and well, one of the reasons I moved it was because obviously I have contacts still in America. I and my second biggest audience for my channel is America. Whether it's 8 o'clock on a Friday night or 8 o'clock on a Saturday night doesn't make any difference to my UK audience. So try and make things a little bit easier for my US audience. Um, I think it's something like 28% of people now are. I can look it up quickly. It's like 28% of people now of my photo analytics here. For some reason, I think I've just screwed up my live stream. When I clicked on, I must have a poor. The internet probably is Saturday night, and I'm using over the air internet. I'm using a telephone. I use my telephone for my internet, obviously, because you can't have it wired in. There's not. I don't have a 4,000 mile cable running to my boat, so I can get internet. So I think on Saturday nights you quite often find that there's a lot of people. The kids are on the internet and all that sort of thing, or on their laptops and their iPads and their telephones and all, and it does slow down. But during the daytime, the speeds here are phenomenal. It definitely has slowed down a bit tonight because I just had to look there and it's just about holding on. I'm glad you enjoyed the beer streams. I'm going to continue with them, doing them about once a month or so, every 6 weeks perhaps. Um, I enjoy doing them because obviously it's an excuse for me to drink a few beers, and I like some beer. I might do a little twist on one though. I might throw in something like some mead. A very good friend of mine, another boater, Steve Tyrrell. He's he, Narrowboat Precious Jet. He has his own YouTube channel, and he stopped by today, and he gave me a bag of coal and a bag of logs. Thank you very much, Steve. If don't think you're watching it, because I know where you are. You're in the pub just up the road. But there you go. Because it was in convoy with 2 or 3 other boats, and they were stopping at the pub up the road for let's say up the road, it's a mile or so up from here, for lunch. And he said, you won't be able to see the live stream tonight because they'll still be in the pub. Good for you, Steve. Anyway, thank you, Steve. If you watch this, he said he'll watch it when he gets back to the boat, where he does all. There's had too many of these. That doesn't matter. Thank you for the coal and the logs. And he makes or has made some mead. And we're talking quickly today, and it's not ready yet. When it's ready, we might do a live stream between us. He would do a live stream to his channel. I'll do a live stream to my channel, and we're going to try his meads. So sit down there and drink his home. We might do a live stream between us. He would do a live stream to his channel. I'll do a live stream to my channel, and we're going to try his meads. So sit down there and drink his homemade mead. I'm quite looking forward to that. That would be something different. Yeah. And he's got, what does he tell me? He's got a regular mead. I think it was a cherry mead and a ginger mead. Now, I love ginger, so I'm sort of quite looking forward to trying some of that. But there we go. Anyway, so that would be one for the future, but it's not going to be ready yet for about another couple of months. So one for the future. I'm looking forward to trying that. I have to. Sorry about this, guys. I have to lean forward. Even with my glasses on, I can't read this unless I lean forward. Beer and wings. Ha ha ha. Yeah. I still got my wings to eat. Well, I only sort of put 3 on the plate. I actually have about 10 of them over here to eat. Actually, believe day, I made myself the wings yesterday, but I had a kilo of wings, and I can't eat a kilo of wings, so I heated some back up tonight. And what I did was I wrapped them in foil and stuck them on top of my stove, and so they wouldn't dry. Well, I don't have a microwave, so I can't throw them in the microwave. But it actually heated them up quite nicely, and that actually it was absolutely. I think they might taste even better today than they did yesterday because they've crisped up the skin a little bit. Where I've put them, where I've taken all the other stuff out, and they come out quite nicely. But yeah, wings. Yeah, I do like wings, and I like beer. Yeah, so for my birthday, I made myself wings. Some people think, wings for your birthday? You didn't have steak or anything? No, I prefer wings, and I would steak actually these days. Only because steak sometimes can give me gout. So, funny, I can drink beer and never have a problem with gout. People say, oh, it always give you gout. No, it doesn't. Beef does. So, I just stick away from the beef these days. Chicken and pork and duck and anything else that wants to walk on my plate, I'll eat. But anyway, guys, I think it's time to sort of wrap this up now. We've been going for over an hour. I really, really appreciate you all joining me tonight. Been absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for the super thanks or whatever it's called in here, Willie. I really appreciate that. Every penny goes to buying another bottle of beer for tomorrow. No, I'll put it towards the next beer stream. And I'm trying to think what we're going to do next. It won't be the mead next. Do you know? I might do some strong ales. I might go for the strong ales. It's either that or I might even go for cider. No, I want to do a cider one in the summer because cider and summer go together really, really well. And so yeah, I think strong ales. I've got one in the fridge which I've had since Christmas, which my brother gave me for Christmas. He gave me a box of various different beers. Well, King Goblin in there, which is a strong ale, which I like. So I might get 3 good strong ales. Might only do 2 real strong ales. No, I'll do 3. I don't have to go anywhere, do I? I've got all of 6 foot to my bed. I can manage that, even on my hands and knees. Anyways, guys, I am going to end it there. And I guess even though the live streams, I must end it the proper way, haven't I? The Trevor way. Thank you very much for watching. Trevor out. I'll catch you all next time. That's an extra bit. I can end the stream. It doesn't want to end. I'm clicking on end stream. Sure, it's still going. Oh, there it goes. Unresponsive. You'll have to put up with my ugly mug in your picture. It's still not saying it's unresponsive. Never had that happen before. Well, the clock stopped moving.